Presenting virtually from Rwanda is Claudine Kamanzi from Rwanda, studying conservation agriculture at Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture. Good morning. Hello, Claudine. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
Good. We're so happy to have you today. Are you ready to present?
Yes, I'm happy to present and excited.
Wonderful. Well, welcome. The stage is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kamanzi Claudine from Rwanda. I'm here representing my team. Allow me to talk about Rwandan agriculture, which is mostly one of the sectors that I'm engaging in. According to the Rwandan agriculture employs over 70% of the population, and it contributes to 27% to the GDP of the country. But unfortunately, 27.5% are being lost due to lack of proper storage facility. Allow me to talk about Jane, hardworking farmer, who is a vendor and a farmer. Jane sells over 10 tons, but 40% of her production are being lost due to lack of proper storage facility. As a coach has saying, she told me that I couldn't be able to feed or to pay school fees for my kid due to the increase of the deterioration of my tomatoes. So today I'm not talking about Jane only. I'm also talking about more than 1,000 farmers who are engaging in tomato production. These farmers produces over 81 metric tons, but according to the research have shown that 50 to 60% of their production are being lost along the value chain. Which is this big issue, very big issue. If this could continue, this will result to the high risk of Rwandan, where there will be increase of malnutrition, also the greenhouse gases. As FruiFresh team, we brought a solution which is called Chakura. Chakura is natural evaporative, zero energy cooling chain, and it can be able to keep the tomatoes up to weeks without being deteriorated. This Chakura has ability to reduce temperature up to 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, and it is being made from the locally available materials. This Chakura, it operates on the principle of evaporating cooling, where charcoal is porous with many thin holes, giving it high water holding capacity. When water is sprinkled through the charcoal in the wall of the cooler chamber, the charcoal becomes moist. As the hot air moves through the moist charcoal, heat from the hot air is transferred to the water, causing water to evaporate. This evaporation process removes heat from the system, resulting to the cooler air inside the chamber and create refrigerator effect. As a result of this charcoal cooler, it extends shelf life of tomatoes, and it's cost saving, reduce the losses, and improve marketability of the tomatoes as the tomatoes are being kept in the cooler chamber. Next, please. As a materials, this charcoal cooler has different materials. It's made from charcoal leftover, timber, bricks, and water. As material analysis, like these charcoals, these coolers that we're bringing, every single material has its load that sprays while it is cooling. Next, please. So as a FruiFresh team, we after getting the solution, we come up with the design which is can be able to fit to our environment. This is my friend Tade, who was just designing following the design, as well as he was trying to see if this design can be able to cool to the 9 to 10 degrees Celsius. Next, please. As we were testing, we found that we took our Chakura, a small one, and then we take it, and where we took our tomatoes, and then we keep it, and we have been able to keep it for 13 days without being deteriorated, which shows that this Chakura has an important role to reduce post-harvest loss of tomatoes. Next, please. So we can ask ourselves, how is it being Sakura? So for us, our tomatoes that were used, for our chocolates that we're using, the chocolates that we're using leftover chocolates. The statistics shows that 70% of Rwandan rely on charcoal while they are cooking. But after cooking, there's 20% of charcoal that is left behind where they are being thrown in the environment. For us, we as FruiFresh, we are relying on this 20%. Those charcoals we don't want to be wasted. We'll be taking these charcoals and use it in our charcoal, and we use it our charcoal so that it can maintain our tomatoes up to 2 weeks without being deteriorated. And after 3 years, we're planning to replace the charcoal, where we'll be crushing them and mixed with soil so that it can even help the soil increase the nutrients like magnesium, calcium, and potassium. So for water, we'll be using rain harvesting water. We'll be we have tank where we'll be collecting water, and after collecting water, will be used in our charcoal cooler. Next, please. As an investment plan, so we are trying the investment. The first one we'll be investing is land, charcoal, bricks, tanks, and timber. So as our revenue, it will cost us over 40,000 USD, and our cost it will be over 26,000. So as a return on investment, it will be 55%. The payback period will be almost 8 months, which is equal to 0.6 years. Next, please. So how do we be distributing our service? For us, we'll be serving tomato farmers and the retailers, and we'll be charging according to the storage fees, where the cost will be charging 0.01 USD per kg by the weekly. So for us, we'll be taking the charcoal on the market where it will be easy and affordable to the farmers, where the farmers will be taking their tomatoes and bring it to their charcoal cooler, and then we keep it while they're waiting for someone to buy their produce of tomato. Next, please. So our stakeholders you have is retailers, wholesaler, cooperative, and the National Agriculture Export Board. And our very competitive advantages that we have is zero energy system, and it will also serve in remote area, as this charcoal cooler doesn't require electricity to operate. Next, please. So as an impact assessment, we have found, first, socially it will contribute to food security and safety, and it will reduce unemployment rate, as well as for environment, it will contribute to proper wastage of management and reduce greenhouse gases. So, by economically, it will bring the income for us as people who are providing the storage services, and for the retired farmers who will be able to keep their produce for a long time. So, as the NSD that we are working on is zero hunger and no poverty. Next, please. So our key main activities that we'll be doing as FruiFresh team. So first we'll be constructing charcoal cooler on the market, near the market where it can be able to be affordable. Also we'll be providing the capacity building to the farmers, as well as we will provide the storage services. Next, please. So we are planning to gain, our main action plan is for 3 years. One will be operating over 80% for first, for the second will be 100% oil. We'll be able to reach 2,000 smallholders, farmers, and retailers, and then we will be able to give 50 jobs to the youth and small and the people. So also, as our barrier we're facing is first is insufficient funds because we don't have now the core amount to invest, but we're still finding how we can get enough money. So also is adaptation to the technology. As the survey that you have done found that the farmer doesn't even have crowd this Chakura. So we found that will be challenges, but we are focusing, we will be educating through workshop and try to help them know how this Chakura works. Next, please. And for all this Chakura, this is a team behind of it, a team with diverse skills who are willing and able to serve the community. Thank you so much. So join me in this journey of reducing post-harvest losses.
Claudine, great work. I know it's difficult to present virtually, but you did an awesome job. Love the charcoal cooler idea. So we're going to take a few minutes for the judges to deliberate, and then they'll come back and ask you some questions as well. So in the meantime, tell us, how did you get involved in, and what is your inspiration for conservation agriculture?
Thank you so much. As I was grown in the family where all my parents rely on agriculture, because agriculture, as I said, it employs 70% of the population. It means that our parents, most of our parents are being engaged in agriculture. So after I grew up, I studied science, but I found that if I can go back and use the science and learn more about agriculture, there's something that I can do to help the increase of the production, because my parents were doing was kind of traditional. But I wanted to go and gain the skills and come back in my community, teach my parents, and also people know my community. Thank you so much.
Good for you. That's great. Judges, are we ready or need a few more minutes? Good to go? All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll start in that case. Thank you very much for your presentation. Lovely to see. One thing that wasn't clear to me was, how do you collect the charcoal from Rwandans? What's the process?
Okay,
is there any costs involved?
Okay, thank you so much. As I said, that 70% of the people living in Rwanda, we use charcoal while we are cooking, and 20% of it are being thrown away from the school, from houses, even from where the place where they make charcoals. For us, we'll be hiring someone to collect those leftover charcoals, and then after we collect it, and then we put it in the place where we'll be breeding our charcoal cooler. Thank you.
I've got a question. Just move the microphone closer. I love this idea. I think it's really simple, and I love the idea of you using local materials. One of the questions I've got is it possible to make a mobile version of this so that you can bring crops in from even further out and into the city? Is that something that you've thought about?
Yeah, we've thought about it, but the mobile one, so it's so hard since it uses water. So it might be hard for every time fetching water. So we thought that something can be a mobile, stay somewhere where it can be used, accessed with everyone.
Thank you so much. Excellent presentation. I have a question regarding relative humidity of the air and temperature in the area where you're going to put this facility.
Okay. As I said, that this Chakura have ability to maintain 9 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. So it means that during the day they'll be somehow they'll be somehow hot, but as the water moving in the charcoal, and they'll be able to maintain the coordinates inside the charcoal cooler, which will be like the humidity wouldn't be like a big problem, because it will be happen based on the how we are entering, how we are sprinkling water, or how we are putting water into our charcoal cooler. Thank you so much.
Do you have like meteorological data of the area where you're going to put these facilities? Like temperature, relative humidity of the air?
Yeah. So in Rwanda, since we'll be working on the eastern province, where it's somehow where it is hotter. So for us, it shows that the Rwandan climate shows that between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius. That's how the hotness it will be. So I feel that it will not affect the coolness inside our chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I agree with Joe that it's such a clear and clearly presented concept. I'm going to combine a couple questions that the judges have been sharing amongst themselves. I noticed that the largest loss of produce happens at the retail level. Is this solution, are you planning on having it in retail markets, or is it going to be at a more centralized location?
Thank you so much. So our thought is just to put on near the market, where the retailers can take their produces, or while they're waiting someone to buy their produces, they can put it in our cooler. Once they get someone to buy their product, they can be able to come and take it and be able to sell it.
And this may be obvious, but is it possible to store more than just tomatoes in this facility, I assume?
Yeah, so for our facilities that we'll be making, has ability to keep over 30 tons of tomatoes, which will be easier for many retailers to access to our charcoal cooler.
Thank you.
So I come.
I just think your solution is a wonderful, appropriate technology effort. It's great. My question is on water, the water supply. How are you getting the water up in and then onto all the charcoal? That's the first question. And then what is the ratio then of the evaporated versus the amount of water that you then can recycle back into the cooler?
Thank you so much for the water. So for the charcoal cooler will be kind of, looks like a normal house, but at below the roof there will be the pump, which has different where the water will be moving from up to the charcoal. And for these charcoals, like, we'll be able to, the more water that goes down, it will be few water, but there is another pump like that will be taking it and put it there. There is a tank which we plan to take, which will be breathing somewhere, and it will have a pump where those water will move forward and up to the tank. And then once you want to reuse it again, so we pump it to the main tank.
I think
Thank you so much.
I think I saw in your presentation that this is a zero energy solution, but you just talked about pumps for the water. What's powering the pumps?
So the pump, so like we thought that technology is a way of collecting the water, because it will go down, and then we have, this how do they usually get water in the lobbies at home? That's how we be opening it, and water comes back, goes back to the system. Thank you.
So thank you for tackling the issue of food waste, because if food waste was a country in the world, it would be the third actor in producing climate change. So thank you for tackling this one. How have you guys calculated the price for the farmers, what it will cost the farmers to keep or to bring you the tomatoes into the refrigerator versus them losing or wasting those tomatoes?
Thank you so much. So before we come up with this idea, we make market survey. We went to the retailers and then we asked some information. We tried to understand how to be the favorable or their price where they can be able to afford. And then we come up with the price where the retailers will be able to pay. This is almost 12 London francs. So we also considered the amount of tomatoes that farmers in general they're just producing or they're selling in the weekly, and then we come up with this amount of money that we'll be charging.
I have a question for you. Again, thank you very much for your presentation. One question is, why did you choose tomatoes over other types of produce that I imagine also have losses associated with their production? Why is tomatoes the first approach you're taking? And then second, are you looking at other types of produce also being stored?
Thank you so much. Why tomatoes? So because the tomatoes is a high value crops in Rwanda. So we as people, for instance, I consume it twice a day. So it means that the tomatoes everyone needs is something that needs. If these tomatoes are being spoiled every single day, means that it will be high cost. For the people who want to access, he or she will not be able to access because it will be expensive. So that's why we choose tomatoes. But as we keep up, as we grow, we're planning to even to include these perishable crops like carrots, cabbages. So, but we first started with tomatoes due to being high consumable every single day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All set? Please.
We have just
20
another
seconds.
question, I'm really curious about leftover charcoal. I just want to understand what is leftover charcoal. It is burnt charcoal. If it is burnt charcoal, its porosity gonna be very, very low. And the airflow, it will restrict the airflow completely. So I don't know how you manage that.
Okay, thank you so much. So I said that it's after cooking, there's leftover charcoals. For us, that's what we'll be using, we'll be increasing. Since those charcoal is kind of not small, it's kind of small, not that big, which is that even water will be resistant and be able to be maintained inside. Yeah, that's the leftovers. That's the charcoal where they will be collecting from homes after being used. The main charcoals after them being used while they are cooking. So we'll be collecting after them being after they finish cooking.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Great questions. Claudine, excellent work. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Let's give Claudine a round of applause.
You're welcome.